Hello, this is the Nightline Podcast. My name's James Piecowye, and if you want to learn more about the program, please go to www.dubai1038.com or email us nightline@dubai1038.ae. Enjoy the show. And there's no shortage of things to talk about. Right off the bat. Good question is what are you guys driving this week? Imtishan, what are you just hanging out in the DeLorean and the Wrangler? Or?
No, I'm not hanging out in the DeLorean or the Wrangler. I actually can talk about a car now that I couldn't talk about earlier. Should I talk about that?
Absolutely.
The F-Type SVR.
And?
So SVR is actually the first Jaguar SVR product. SVR being the model and a product of this SVO division, which is called Special Vehicle Operations.
Hang on. The SVR is made by SVO.
It's made by SVO. Who's made by JLR.
Hang on, the SVO is Land Rover, isn't it? It's Special Vehicle Operations.
But now
aren't
they
those the guys that made the six-wheel ambulances and stuff like that?
These aren't the same guys.
Okay.
They made that in the 60s and 70s. This car is a modern, fast, cruising bruiser of a car. A James Bond on steroids.
Okay.
So basically, this is the first SVR. Effectively, is AMG, is to Jaguar, AMG is to Mercedes, and so on.
So it should be really good.
Well, we haven't. Have you driven the Range Rover product?
No, we haven't driven. It's here, but we haven't had a go in it yet.
Yeah, but it's been on sale. SVR.
That's the fastest current production standard Range Rover.
But not the fastest SUV in the world.
No.
Because there are faster SUVs in the world. So what do you get for your Jag F-Type? Well, you get 25 more horsepower and 25 foot-pounds of torque. And you get retuned dampers, and you get a silly wing on the back that spoils the look of what is otherwise a beautiful car.
But can I ask a question?
How much is this going to cost me?
Well, we'll get to that shocking development in a minute, but Shahzad has a question.
Well, no, the question I asked, because you said this is the F-Type, right? So we've already got a V8 F-Type, which...
Yeah. We've got a V8, a V8S,
V8S,
a V8R as well.
Right? So the V8S is, and the V8R is, how much horsepower is that one?
550.
And that's already a lot of horsepower for that little car.
As a matter of fact, they had to put four-wheel drive to tame it.
Really?
Because the cars that... This is a bit of a newsflash.
Hold on. They put four-wheel drive to make the car a little bit more easy to handle?
Basically. So we, in the Middle East, get a car that the US doesn't get, because we get the V8 with rear-wheel drive in the convertible. But the coupe, I believe, I could be wrong about this, it comes only with four-wheel drive.
For America?
For here as well. So we still get a V8 convertible with rear-wheel drive.
What?
Yeah.
Is Jaguar just deliberately trying to confuse us tonight?
Specifically you.
Yeah, seriously. Look at my face.
So, long story short.
People on the radio.
It's also got retuned dampers, retuned this and that. It's lots of and an SVR badge.
Is there anything different interior-wise?
Not really. I mean, it is really pick them apart. I mean, it's got titanium exhaust, so I think it's like 20 kilos, something lighter. So it's made from Inconel and titanium. Okay. It's very fancy.
Is that from Stark Enterprises or something?
It really is. But, a little birdie says you could probably find other people that make exhaust like that. But this comes from Jaguar,
right?
And it is legal. And to be honest, the F-Type is one of the loudest cars we've ever driven.
Well, even the regular one sounds great.
This is even louder.
Wow.
I mean, it is a great noise. Okay. It is a little NASCAR. It is such a nice noise.
Do I need one of these? That's the question. No.
Hang on, you just said it sounds fantastic and it's faster and it's more
titanium
powerful.
Exhaust.
Okay,
25
so
more.
It's lighter, it's faster, but it's not sharper and or easier to drive. Here's the problem. I am a normal driver like you listening. I don't pretend to be Ayrton Senna or any of his various cousins or nephews. The problem is, I am not Ayrton Senna, and you kind of need to be on that level to extract the best from the regular F-Type, never mind the SVR. Because you put more horsepower, that isn't solving the problem of the car. It doesn't feel very tied down. It is incredibly fast, but you need to respect it. Otherwise, as the Americans say, it gets very sketchy.
So you really need to be taking some driving lessons with this, some serious advanced driving school.
But even with the four-wheel drive, surely that's the point of the four-wheel drive, to make it
that just takes away. Here's the thing: I drove the two-wheel drive version, the rear-wheel drive car, and that actually felt pretty nippy because you could feel the car. The steering was very pure. And it wasn't a fast car in the sense that it doesn't attack corners. It's like a muscle car. You just drive it and slide around a little bit, that sort of thing. But the SVR takes the steering feel away and gives you nothing but sort of gloopiness to it. It's not bad. It's good steering. I'm not saying it's bad. The four-wheel drive, however, this is the problem with four-wheel drive cars. They don't talk to you. So when you're on the track, it feels monumentally fast. Jag say this car will do 200 miles per hour. I don't think it'll do that. It feels pretty heavy. And as you go...
Hold on. If they say it's going to do 200, it's going to do 200.
But isn't this all aluminium and stuff?
It is a very, very quick car. All I can say is that it feels kind of heavy though. When you drive it, it is. So it's not
You've left me very, very confused. I mean, this Jaguar F-Type is such a
awesome.
beautiful. It's such a beautiful
It's a
looking
mixture
thing.
of things. I mean, basically, if you want the biggest,
Even Esther's scratching her head listening to you.
it is the fastest Jag. And here's the other thing as well. So let's get to the price.
Yeah.
By the way, I should say that it does handle well and it doesn't stop and all of that.
Yeah.
It feels very safe.
It's a head turner. This is a head turner.
Yeah, but so is a regular F-Type. I don't say you buy this. Why you buy this with a regular, which is a very, very good car. The SVR doesn't really change that much. You won't get into an F-Type SVR and go, oh my God, this is like the next night and day. It's small differences, small, minute differences.
Who's buying this car?
That's going to be another good question. So the price of the F-Type SVR in coupe form is 585,000 dirhams.
Whoa. 585,000 dirhams.
I think so, and 700 or something.
That's a lot of money.
Then you get to the convertible.
Yeah.
That's not cheaper, despite not having a roof. That's 618,000.
Wow.
And that's
We're
MSR.
we're talking 911 turbo sort of prices, aren't we?
We're talking AMG GT money. Now, I think
Wow.
SVR
We're both going.
Okay.
decent car, the
Yeah.
SVR, but when you put it up against those kinds of cars, suddenly the poor thing is in sort of the wrong placement, I think. And I think once again, Jaguar.
But it's okay though, right? Because you can still get the V8 coupe rear-wheel drive.
To be honest with you, the SVR is fine. If you want the maximum Jag, get the SVR. There's nothing wrong with it. It's faster, but it's not so much faster that the guy with the F-Type next to you is going to feel bad about it. The F-Type V8 regular car is still the one to get, although I know you like the V6.
I'll have the V8 though. I've been polluted by Hemi engines lately, unfortunately.
Overall, good car. Not sure why it exists.
All right. We got a lot more to talk about. This is Car Talk. And by the way, I want to remind everyone that Dubai 103.8 and Marriott Rewards have teamed up to offer you the ultimate vacation. Boys, listen to this. We're offering you the chance to take a family member or a friend with you on this holiday of a lifetime. Not only will you win one trip, but you will win 5 trips in total.
5 trips in
you'll
total.
Get to stay. You'll get a 1-night stay in Dubai, a 2-night stay in Abu Dhabi, a 3-night stay in Oman, a 4-night stay in Jordan, and to top it off, you'll get a 5-night stay in Zanzibar.
If I forsake the 1 night in Dubai, can I get 6 nights in Zanzibar?
No, you're going to do them all, and you'll experience.
Sounds awesome, though.
You'll experience the best hospitality, staying in 5-star Marriott hotels in all of these destinations, plus business class flights to Oman, Jordan, Zanzibar, all courtesy Fly Dubai.
Wow.
Yeah. To be in with a chance of winning, head to our website Dubai1038.com for further details and take part in the online competition starting next week.
Sounds like a hell of an Eid gift.
This is going
Brilliant.
to be awesome. This is going to be awesome. And you know what? This is already an awesome show. This is Car Talk. If you've got questions, this is Car Talk with Motoring Middle East. If you're wondering what you've tuned into, we've got holdover questions.
Really?
From a show that was replayed.
Oh, wow. Cool.
And people, because they know
So
Esther.
when you say replay, does that mean we're here when we're not here?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's
You're
amazing.
time shifting.
That's so cool.
I've always wanted to be a time traveler.
There we go. You got to time shift. So first one is, someone was texting through saying, hold on, can you please tell me where this dent place is, who it is that fixes dents for 450 dirhams? Remember we had...
These are the guys that you mentioned last
Yeah,
week. That's right, yeah.
automotiverepairsystems.ae, 450 dirhams, every dent. So that's the first one. Go check it out. Second one is, quick question, they said. I'm going to Germany, Switzerland on holiday next week, 4 adults and a baby touring around. Should we hire a VW Touran, a Ford S-Max, a Ford Galaxy, or the VW Caddy? Thanks.
You know what? Actually, they've asked this question to us as well. I think it's the same person.
It's Vivek, probably. Yeah.
That's a very specific question.
No, I've actually answered this question today on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Motoring Middle East.
And
the answer that I gave, because it sounded like there were quite a lot of people, plus a kid, plus a lot of paraphernalia.
4 adults and a baby.
And a baby, plus lots of paraphernalia because they're on holiday, they're touring. So I suggested going for the biggest thing they could get, which I think is the Galaxy, the Ford Galaxy. So
I like
for
the
that
S-Max. The X-Max is a cool car.
Yeah, well, I don't think it'll be big enough for what they want. I think
they don't do the Oddysey in the UK. What about a Megane? Not a Megane.
What about the Caddy? No, the Caddy's not going to do it.
What's the
I
Renault?
can't remember the Renault is Spas.
A Spas.
Yeah, but from the choices that he gave, because he didn't say, I can't remember what the VW version of the Galaxy is called. No, the Touran's a smaller one, because there used to be a bigger one. And Touran is golf-based. and there used to be a bigger one than that. I can't remember what that's called, because in the UK it used to
We're
be called the
losing
Sharon.
we're losing listeners.
We're losing listeners because we're talking MPVs now. So basically the short answer to that, which I've already given him, is go for the Ford Galaxy if you can get it.
Well, Galaxy is a cool name for a van as well.
Ford Galaxy.
Is there like a fast Galaxy?
You know, I'm pretty sure because Ford and Volkswagen, they co-developed these cars, and I think it was in the early 90s, and they came out with these two MPVs, and Ford's what's called the Galaxy, Ford based in Essex in the UK, and VW's car was called the Sharon. And I always thought they should have been the other way around.
Is it Sharon, like a girl's name, Sharon? By the way, you're right. Sharon is the large SUV.
It's still called
MPV,
Sharon. It's still called Sharon.
Still called Sharon.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure. Sharon.
Sharon, oh, whatever. It's like Touareg.
But Sharon, really.
Pointlessly exotic.
Okay. So what are you suggesting that the four adults and the baby drive around?
Ford Galaxy.
Ford Galaxy.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with going for the car with the most interesting name, and that's going to be not on this list. The Seat Alhambra.
Which is also part of the same family, because that's also
Are they all
Ford
just
Galaxy.
the same car?
Yeah,
Okay.
the Galaxy, the Ford, VW, and Seat all produce the same
I want
car.
a car called the Alhambra,
Well, Alhambra, that's it. It's the
which
same
is
one.
made in Spain.
Yeah.
Nice.
As all Seats are.
Next question. I'm looking for some kind of an adventure group I can join to add some activity into my boring 9 to 5, Monday to Thursday, and sleep in the weekend life.
Is this for cars?
Yes.
Oh,
I have
okay.
a Grand Cherokee 2014 Limited 3.7 liter. Is this a car I can use for weekend off-roading adventures and also use as my everyday car, or should I invest in a second car to use for off-roading? Can you also suggest a club that I might want to join for off-roading?
So we'll let Imtishan answer this question. We'll enjoy these dates that we've got off Nissan earlier this evening. Yeah, shall we?
Yeah, thank you very much, Nissan, by the way.
You know what? Listen to them stuff themselves
Oh,
while I
these are great
work
dates.
on these questions. So what was the year of Grand Cherokee?
It's a 2014
That's a pretty
Limited
new- So that's
3.7 liter engine, pure
3.6.
power.
It's a 3.6.
It says 3.7 on
It's a
it. He
3.6.
would know.
He doesn't know.
Okay. He is a beginner off-road. He is a beginner off-road. Anyway.
No, I think it's a 3.6 Pentastar, which is the same engine that you get in all the Jeeps. So it's a
Awesome
fine motor. It's a fine motor. It's all you need. The Limited is a nicely spec'd one, so you may want to think twice about taking that car off-road and getting it banged up. This is the thing about off-roading. Stuff happens. Stuff gets scraped, stuff gets scratched, stuff comes off. First thing you'll want to do with the Grand Cherokee, all the recent ones for the last 5 years anyways, they are very capable off-road. If that car has the air suspension, great. It can just lift itself up an inch or even 2 inches as need be. Although an inch is the first setting is all you need. Now he needs to go to the dealership and go to the after sales department, ask them to take the front lip off because that improves your approach angle. Otherwise it's just going to come off anyway. So it's like a 10-15 minute job or a 45 minute job if you do it yourself. So get the experts to do it and they'll do it for you and they'll give it back to you, or you can store it and put it back. And that won't affect anything in the car, honestly, apart from aerodynamics by about 5 or 10%. And then the Grand Cherokee is honestly a decent car to go off-road with. You'll have no issues. It'll cover all the terrain out here if you're sensible.
He's a beginner, so he's
If
going to be
you're-
totally sensible.
Exactly. As you start to get more advanced, you can still take the Grand Cherokee, but you might want to think about investing in a dedicated desert car if you're really, really into it. And that inevitably means a Wrangler or an FJ. Get a cheap one, because especially if you're learning, you are going to break stuff. Don't modify it. I'm going to go with the grenade. Don't modify it. Learn how these stock cars work and how the sand, basically learn how the sand operates.
Yeah.
But having said that, but for an occasional weekend off-roader who just wants to go out a little bit, not like the super crazy stuff
Honestly,
that you
the Grand
do.
Cherokee's fine.
I was going to say, the Grand Cherokee's okay, right? I mean,
More than enough.
Yeah.
More than enough. There's nowhere I haven't been in a Grand Cherokee. The stock Grand Cherokee, any model in the last 5 years, and actually any model in the entire history of the Grand Cherokee, they're extremely capable cars. And with the new computers and software, they're just so good.
It just sort of looks after you, doesn't it?
Now, as for clubs and things, well, I leave it to you. There are lots of clubs out there with very aggressive names, like Desert
No.
Raiders and Desert Pirates.
No, name a soft one.
There isn't a soft one.
Oh, come on.
I'm waiting for a club called Desert Friends or
I'm waiting
Desert
for-
Chums.
I'm waiting for a club that's called We Do Not Roll Over this weekend.
You know what? I used to be part of a club that unfortunately disbanded because
What was the name of this club?
It was the Canadian Association for Picnic Enthusiasts,
That sounds very formal.
and all we did was
I think
go
there's an acronym for something.
Cape.
Ah,
That was, yes.
did
Right.
you all wear capes then?
No.
On your shirt,
But
that would look
we used to
fantastic.
do some very, very soft off-roading with the goal being a picnic.
Yeah,
And
that sounds good.
Basically, I can't really tell you which club to join because all of them are different.
Could anyone have been a Canadian for this, or you decided to be? Oh, that's cool. That's nice.
All of the core people, we just all happen to have been.
Canadians are good like that. They'll welcome everybody. That's really
Can
nice.
we recommend a club for this man?
We were waiting for you. We were trying to kill time so that you could do some research.
No, there are plenty of clubs out there. There's Dubai off-roaders. They're all something off-roaders. Emirates off-roaders. All of them are fine. When you go there, they all find their websites. I think almost 4x4, Abu Dhabi 4x4. Basically, there are clubs for every Emirate, every style. There are Jeep-only clubs. There are girls-only clubs. Just get out there and start looking. And then once you start making some friends, you'll figure out if the style is up to you. The biggest advice I can give to anybody, when you join a club, and don't just go with one club, go with many different clubs, even the ones that people you don't know, because they have different styles of driving, different lines, so they'll learn different things about the desert. Stay in the beginner section. All of them have like a beginner or newbie section, and it may seem like this is like the children's pool. It's the most valuable time you'll spend in the desert, learning the basics, how to off-road. That is the most crucial thing. Spend as much as a year just doing till you're absolutely, utterly, criminally bored of it. Because then you'll be ready to go up a level. The problem out here is that people spend a little bit of time in the beginner section. They're like, well, I want to be the expert. And that's when they roll the car. And that is a real danger. You can actually roll your car. And if you have, get off-road insurance. It's a no-brainer. Pay whatever it takes. Because you can roll the car. It can happen to you. And you'll be grateful for that little tick box on your insurance form then.
There we go. It's that simple. Hey, here's another one. Nissan Maxima 2013, an American import. Are parts expensive for this vehicle? And follows up by saying, great show, guys.
Actually, he shouts it at us. It's in all caps.
He's shouting. It's all claps. It's a great show, guys.
Awesome. Yeah. Should we shout back?
So 2000. So first of all, we got a 2013 American import of a Nissan Maxima.
Same bits as a normal Maxima. I don't see why it should be more expensive.
Only thing I'm thinking is maybe the cooling. Some of the cooling might be different on the car.
The radiator, some of the compressors. But
you could always retrofit that stuff from
here.
You
could just put the UAE stuff on there.
Yeah.
I mean.
It really shouldn't have any trouble.
Every single part from the US car should be available out here. Or better GCC spec components.
And the radio maybe. You might have a problem with the radio, I guess.
That could be a
Who
big
listens
issue.
to the radio?
Everyone.
Everybody listening to us right now.
Everyone listens to the radio.
So everyone is waiting with bated breath about my Renegade experience.
Oh yes, you had the Renegade.
I did. And I've been waxing and waning about this vehicle. I was
literally. So did you grow your hair out like Lorenzo Lamas?
I was thinking that's why I was doing this.
And did you dress in black?
Do you have
a black? I
don't even know if I own any black.
It doesn't seem like
clothes.
it.
Well, you Bruce Wayne.
It was an orange Renegade.
It's not very Bruce Wayne, is it?
But Neville was there, and it's interesting that Neville and I
the same one that I had.
Yes.
Ah, cool. That's a nice car.
And that's why there was shawarma smell. Anyway, interesting that Neville and I have like polar opposite hairstyles. Yes. It was very interesting.
Very polar. Yes. Very polar opposite.
You should lend him some of your hair.
So this is the thing. I love that Renegade.
Mm-hmm.
I love things about the Renegade.
What do you love about the Renegade?
I love the look. Someone's phone's ringing.
Somebody's phone is ringing.
I love the look. I love the colors. Whose phone is that? Someone's phone is ringing. Where's the phone? So
oh, busted! Busted! So, I'm going to dine on this for years.
So, gentlemen, let me get back to this Renegade.
Okay,
so,
Shahzad.
This Renegade, I love the look. And I love the detail.
The retro, funky, chunky, monkey, 70s beach buggy car look.
I love all of the details that they've really paid attention to. So, for instance, this is an orange vehicle. You go inside, you sit into it. You've got all of your air conditioning vents around them. There's that orange color. The doors have got the orange color. There's, it's
just splashes of color all over the place.
Even just little fun things such as the tachometer has got this orange splash to tell you where you're hitting, the maxing out. It's clean inside. It doesn't feel like they've just sort of thrown this together. It's a mid-range car.
It's a very designed car.
Yes.
Like, clearly, every little panel, every detail they've thought.
Everything.
How do we add more design to this car?
I love
there's no plain bits in it.
No. I love the idea that you can take out the sunroof, sort of like the roofs on Wranglers. There's the front and back. They come out.
Yeah.
So you can suddenly go without. So
they're electric sunroof that you can detach.
Yes. Which I thought was very cool.
That's very impressive, actually.
It's got a fantastic stereo. I mean, really, you're using.
Does it kick?
It does. It's Beats. It's a Beats audio stereo.
Oh, like Beats.
Yes, Beats as in the headphones.
Yeah.
So it's nicely branded. It works. Exactly. Shahzad is using those in studio right now.
They're rather nice.
The 4-wheel drive function, easy push of a button, whole bunch of selections, just simple. It really works. I love the fact that every time you put this car into park, it puts the emergency brake on.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
There's no way that I don't.
You wouldn't forget it, yeah.
You won't forget.
I tell you what, though, I have a problem because a lot of modern cars that I try these days, and just deviating just off for a tangent a little bit, they all have these systems. Yeah. And what happens is when you get into another car that doesn't have it, you forget to use the handbrake.
Yes.
I'm getting spoiled.
So comfortable. Fits kids, fits adults,
your kids?
fits my kids, fits adults, fits groceries. It really is a nice vehicle.
It's a bit of a TARDIS, isn't it?
It's raised up a little bit higher than the average bear, so you look different. It is a Jeep. I mean, and they keep reminding you, and that's one of the things that I actually don't like, is that they keep telling me that it's a Jeep everywhere I look. I get out, there's Jeep insignias here, they're on the boot. It's like, man, come on.
You cannot be in any doubt whatsoever that car is indeed a Jeep.
Even
though it's not made in America.
Which it's Italian. This is an Italian. But you know what was a really neat feature that I thought was cool is when you open up the tailgate to put everything in. So you open up the back, you could actually lock the doors back there as well without getting my finger onto the fob to do the door lock. There's another button beside the release that opens up the hatchback that locks all the doors. So how many times have you gotten out your groceries, got something out of the trunk, and then you've got to lock the doors? You just push the button, boop, door's locked.
I'm a big fan of not reaching into your hands for pockets, reaching in your pockets with your hands.
Not reaching into your hands.
Hands in the
That's
pocket.
impressive.
To press things. I like keyless entry. It's one of the best inventions the last 10 years.
And it's got all that gizmo widgetry as well. So that's kind of neat.
And does it off-road?
Very nicely.
You said you nearly got into a quandary.
Imtishan said you will not get stuck unless you're somewhere you should not be. And I was almost somewhere I should not be. And then I heard Imtishan in my head, and I said, yeah, you know what?
Press the buttons.
Press the buttons.
Feel the force.
I channeled my inner Imtishan.
Did I sound cooler?
to get out.
Did I have an echo, a reverb?
You did. There's a, James, where are you?
Use the button.
Can you get a shawarma for me on your way home?
And you know what? This thing, very capable off-road. I didn't have to deflate it. It just did the job.
Any car you don't have to deflate is a good car.
The engine maybe could be a little bit more perky. And at the end of giving this thing back, I looked at this and I said, okay, would I buy one of these? And I kind of looked and I said, not this version. I want to wait till they've had some time to listen to people like me and others and try to figure out how do we get the Jeep Wrangler owners to want to own one of these.
Yeah. But maybe it's not for you.
Well, I'm thinking that's exactly it. It's not made for me.
Where this car has been really successful has been in Europe, where it's converted a lot of people into the Jeep brand for the first time. So
I can see how that would happen.
And they're sophisticated European people.
Yeah.
Well, it's just that Jeep never been, particularly in the UK, it's never been that popular a brand, in that sense. And this is a car that suddenly opened up the Jeep brand to a lot of people that wouldn't have considered in the past. But they can come into this concept and feel not so surprised by it all, because it is a car that you're very easy to live with. It's very easy to live with. It's very comfortable.
And for Europe, it's an excellent size of vehicle. It's nippy. And I mean, we took it up this mountain road in Barcelona. And I got to be honest, the guys in the Grand Cherokee was like, man, that was a rough road. And I was like, I didn't feel a thing.
Were you in the diesel when you did that?
I was in the diesel.
Yeah.
This thing is such a smooth ride. Such a smooth ride. It's and maybe that's part of my handicap driving a Wrangler. There's no smooth ride in my Wrangler.
You prefer a car that's worse?
I would, I think I'd just like to have a little more feel. I'd love to have an adjustment.
20% more rubbish.
I'd love to have an adjustment where I can be, not only am I adjusting four-wheel drive, it's adjusting the suspension to give me more.
Well, the thing is, most people don't want that. See, that's the thing. It's because you guys, both of you guys, in fact, have Wranglers, and you're used to that Wrangler experience, which for a lot of people, dare I say this, could feel a little bit agricultural, if you see what I mean. Whereas the Renegade is actually a refined on-road car as well as a capable off-roader. So I can see that stepping out of a Wrangler into something like that with those kind of expectations might leave you a little bit questioning what that car is. But I can see the car sort of pulling the other way. It's pulling people into the Renegade brand and then up maybe to the Grand Cherokee and the Wrangler brand.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What about the price point? I mean, at that money...
It wasn't cheap. It wasn't cheap, though. This was a fully decked out model. I think
the one you had, yeah.
Yeah, we're looking over 100,000 dirhams.
Yeah.
And
but don't forget, it starts at 70.
Yeah.
And you can get them at 86
Yeah,
here.
In four-wheel drive, yeah.
And you can, at the 70, you're getting two-wheel drive, which competes nicely with many cars in that class. And if I was looking at
the
something...
Sportage, the Tucson, these kinds of cars.
So if I had a choice of a Sportage, a Tucson, or this, I'd be going to the or this.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
I mean, I've driven, this is not exactly a group test, but I have driven the Hyundai Tucson. I've driven the Sportage, the new ones. And they're fine, but they're really nice cars with lots and lots of toys, but they've got no character or soul.
Yeah, and this has got amazing character. Like you really do.
Like honestly, I'm not dogging the Koreans at all. I think they make fine cars that last by great warranties and all of that. But I don't know how many people buy those cars and then go back to them. Yeah. Like the next car they buy, is it another Tucson? I'm not so sure, because after a while you crave something with a bit of flavor. Yeah. Yeah. And that's what the Renegade has.
I think that's what the Renegade does. The Renegade basically infuses you with the Jeep brand. It's like once you're into it, that's
like
it.
A tea?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think so. And that's what it does.
And I think it really leads you into the brand nicely and wants you to push up.
I agree with you. I don't think it's for me, because I like cars that I can take apart and fiddle and modify. Yeah. And this is basically, as I was saying to you, has been done.
This is a fully complete car, ready to go. Yeah. It's cool. It's sleek. It's done all the cool stuff, and it is a nice on-road vehicle. Yeah. Not that my Wrangler's not a nice on-road vehicle, but it's a little more agricultural. Yeah. And
what is interesting is that this is kind of democratization of technology, because you talk about the Range Rover, and that was the first car to really integrate computers and very advanced traction control systems into four-wheel drive. Long fancy words, basically saying it's easy to off-road in a Range Rover. In a Toyota, like today, I rescued a guy who was stuck by the side of the road, and he was fasting. He looked like he was having heat stroke. He was in the Land Cruiser. And I was like,
why was he off-roading in this
He
weather?
wasn't. He was just taking a sandy shortcut from his house to the main road in Mirdif, of all places.
But surely there's a road to his house.
Yeah, but he was trying to be.
Lots of people.
I feel like one of our three might do that a lot.
I just want to say, people, please, it's Ramadan. We have a Ramadan driving guide also on our website, motoringme.com. Please do check it out, guys. It's Ramadan. It's summer. Exactly. Be very careful right now. Just don't take any chances.
And he was standing on the side of the road with a rope and just flagging down people. I felt so bad. I mean, he was the third person I drove past. So actually, no, the first two people I drove past, because I'm horrible. But the third person I stopped for. No, there were people helping them. They were fine. There was a whole line of people.
You can't backtrack now.
Yeah, well, you never know. The third person, I saw him and he looked like really pathetic. I mean, I felt I had to do something. Otherwise, he was going to fall down or something, because he was just looking so dusty and sandy. And he had buried his car up to the back axle. And he was like, you're gonna have to pull it out. And I'm like, no, you don't. No, you don't. It's a Land Cruiser. It can get out on its own. I just deflated the tires a little bit, put it into low range, and then half the people listening to this have no idea what I'm talking about. And that's the problem. Yeah. Because you need to know how to operate the systems in these older cars. Whereas with the Renegade, to come back to my point, just turn it to sand. Yeah. And it knows what to do.
So do you think that people with these cars like Land Cruisers and stuff are victim to sort of an overconfidence, because they think, we've got this, so they just like, I'll just go across that bit without even realizing how deep or how soft that sand might be.
I mean, the car can do it, but if you're not paying attention, you will get stuck. But the amazing thing is the Land Cruiser extricated itself. I mean, it wasn't a new one. It had like 200 fairly hard-looking kilometers on the clock, 200,000. But I just deflated the tires and it drove itself out. And the guy, his eyes popped out of his head. And I told him to go straight home. Inflate his tires.
Do you think a lot of people still don't know to deflate tires?
Yes.
No.
Really?
He didn't have I mean, he didn't even need my help. If he didn't realize that if you have a key, just your normal house key, you can deflate tires. Yeah. But all of his dust caps were missing, and the car was, I was lucky that I came along. Let's put it that way.
Guys, hold that thought. We got a lot more to talk about. If you want to get involved in the program, this is Car Talk. Imtishan Shahzad are here from Motoring Middle East. We're talking cars. Here's an interesting one that's come in. And this person says, I have a 2015 4x4. And last week while I was going to Dubai, coming from Abu Dhabi, there was this helicopter sound around me. And all of a sudden, the front right tire exploded and came off the entire rim. What was going on there, guys? I guess it sounds like the tire just...
I mean, he's answered his own question. The tire exploded.
Yeah, the helicopter sound was probably...
It was the belt shredding as the car started to fall apart.
Exactly, yeah. Well, I mean, as we've said in the past, and we've said on previous shows, is that tires, they do get a really rough time in our climate and in our conditions. So you do need to be very, very careful. You do need to inspect them regularly and check them. They need to be changed more frequently here than other markets. So if you've just come into our region from another market, be aware that, so for example, in the UK, I didn't change tyres for years. I didn't need to. Over here, it's almost every year you have to change them.
I'm probably 18 months in, and I'm looking. I'm at the point right now. I need to go and get a set of Kumos put on there.
And the fact is that the moment you detect any kind of a vibration or anything to the steering wheel or any sound, you should go down and get those tyres checked, because don't take a chance with tyres. Just don't. And you can see that because on the highways, how many shredded tyres do you see?
All the time.
All the time. It's just people just not looking after the tyres.
I got a question for you guys. We talk a lot about Hondas. We talk Honda all the time. I actually saw very recently one of the new Honda Odysseys out there on the road, and I saw one of the new Kia Carnivals on the road side by side. Okay. They're looking very similar.
Ooh.
And the Honda, the Kia, I was sort of going, that Kia's looking a little bit more fresh.
Yeah.
So but that's not the question. That's just an observation. Okay. The question is, I today at the university parking lot, a Honda CrossTour was parked beside me.
So that's the jacked up Accord with the sort of corrugated side on it.
Kinda.
Yeah.
And my question is, why do we never talk about this vehicle?
Because why would you buy one?
Well, I thought it kind of looked like a cool car.
I'll tell you why you don't buy one. Because you buy a new Civic, which is the same size.
And looks like the CrossTour.
The CrossTour.
No, Civic is the same size as everything. We already know that.
CrossTour is big, CrossTour is big.
And the Civic looks like the CrossTour. The Civic looks like the CrossTour. And it's the same size.
I don't know if I like that new look of the new Civic.
No,
something's happened to it.
But the biggest issue with the CrossTour...
It's grown.
I don't know.
It swallowed another Civic.
It did. The biggest problem with the CrossTour is the price point, I believe, is, and in fact, I think the pilot price in Ramadan has significantly been dropped. So you're looking at getting a big, full-size, almost full-size SUV for the price of a CrossTour. Why don't you just get the SUV if you want to stick within the Honda brand?
I have never understood the point of a CrossTour. It's a jacked-up Accord with four-wheel drive.
Yeah, but the thing is, like when Audi did it, for example, or when Volvo did it with the the XC70, and then Audi did it with the Allroad, the Audi Allroads. Those cars were cool.
Volkswagen had the XC60.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah,
I must have fallen asleep.
Volvo,
yeah.
Oh yeah,
XC70, the big one. So these were kind of cool. They looked apart. They looked a bit different.
And then Honda did the CrossTour. What happened?
Yeah, it just.
What happened, Honda?
I mean, I don't think we've ever spoke about it on this show, and it's been years. We've I
actually, this is kind of momentous. I met Shahzad for the first time at the launch of the CrossTour.
There you go.
There you go.
History or tragedy was made.
There you go.
So
that is the most notable thing about the Honda.
This is probably
CrossTour.
why I've blocked it out of my mind all these years.
Motoring Middle East, they're in the house, and we've got some more questions coming in.
Cool.
Have you guys seen the new Honda Pilot finally? And they got rid of that ugly design.
Yeah, they made it uglier.
Yeah, I mean,
when I saw the new one,
to be fair,
visual triumph.
To be fair, what they did is they took a bicycle pump, they put it into the back of a CRV, and they just pumped away until they ended up with a Pilot.
And then they chopped the back off and called it in the US Element. Ridgeline.
I looked at the new Pilot, and and the first thing I said was, they've borrowed a little bit of the Nissan thought process with the Pathfinder.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
And I kind of went, why have they done that? I mean, don't let Nissan have their Pathfinder, and you do your own Pathfinder.
Yeah. So, no, but I see what you're getting at. They've gone for sort of a more car-like thing. Whereas the previous, although the previous Pilot, you could argue whether it was ugly or not, but I actually think it had a bit of character. It was great. It was actually surprisingly capable. Yeah. But actually, it did have a bit of character because it had this boxy honesty about it. You know, it was a big boxy.
That's what
machine.
I liked.
Yeah.
I liked it.
So the new one to me is just like, slightly, like I said, CRV on steroids.
Yeah. Let's head to the phone line. See who's joining us. Good evening. Welcome to Nightline.
Good evening. Well, thank you for taking the call.
Hey, it's great to have you joining us. How can we help you?
I just wanted some information and advice. I bought a new Toyota Fortuner 2016 model, about a month ago. And what I've noticed is that there's a blowing noise from the exhaust. And this is happening since the day I bought the car. I've been in contact with Toyota, and I maintain that the exhaust is defective, and it's blowing. When I turn off the engine, you hear a blowing noise before everything calms down. I felt it from the first day. It's been in for the first 1,000 km service. They've made some adjustments to the exhaust fitting. That's what they told me. But the noise is still there. I'm going through with this, insisting that they take this defective exhaust and replace it under warranty. But it's been going on now for almost 3 weeks. Nothing has. They've not said no, but they've not said yes either. I wanted to see if there's an alternative, independent report I can get to take to these people to let them know what, from their perspective, they're saying, well, we need to look at it in more detail. We need to contract the distributor.
Imtishan's got his finger up. He's got an idea here.
I'm thinking at this point, have you been in touch with Toyota Minaro? The question is, have you been in touch with Toyota Middle East? They're the people who actually bring in the car. Alpha-Tame Toyota is the dealer, of course, and they're the ones who warranty the car and bring it and so on and so forth. But Toyota Minaro are the people who actually bring the car, so maybe you should get in touch with them, and they have their Facebook page and so on. You can drop a line for them.
Yeah, they're really keen on social media, so if you drop them a line and say, hey, I want to have a chat about my car, that's
the level of escalation you go to.
They should have a helpline, shouldn't they?
They should have a helpline.
They should have a customer helpline. Toyota. We're talking
not Alpha-Tame Toyota.
We're distinguishing between the dealer and the regional head office, which is also based here in Dubai. So contact the regional head office.
And they're the ones who warranty the car. So they're the
right.
ones who
Okay. Could you please repeat that name again? Toyota?
Toyota is Toyota UAE. On Facebook there'll be Toyota UAE.
No, Toyota UAE is Alpha-Tame.
Oh yes, you're right. Actually, it's not. It's Toyota.
So do a search for Toyota Middle East. If you can't find them, contact us at Motoring Middle East. We'll try and find your number.
When they're back in the office, they'll put it through to you. But it's
There are teams of people out here. There are Japanese folks whose job is to sit and go through these kinds of problems and get to the bottom of it. They get stuff like this every single day. So maybe they are the people you should speak to.
Great. Thanks for the advice. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great night, and good luck on getting that sorted out. These guys will be in touch with you, and you'll be in touch with them, and I look forward to hearing this gets resolved in an amicable manner. Have a great one. Thanks a lot for calling.
Thank you.
Bye. See, this is we've had these kind of issues before.
It's always tough, isn't it, when you have a problem that the dealer either doesn't necessarily understand or replicate, and it's frustrating for you as well. But the objective, as this gentleman was, you need to be polite, you need to be patient, and you need to basically keep working through it. There's no point throwing your toys out of the pram or getting angry. That doesn't go anywhere. Yeah. So the objective is to get your problem resolved to your satisfaction.
And it's a brand new vehicle, Toyota Middle East.
Yeah, it's in their
the head office Toyota. They want this to be your dream vehicle, and it's one of their brand new.
Well, at the end of the day, if there's a fault, then there's no question.
Yeah,
there's simply no question that the fault has to be repaired because it's under warranty. It's a brand new car. So all that has to be established is whether or not this is an actual fault or not.
Here's another question. Is there now? I know high-end cars have these features. Lower-end cars, I don't know. And the question is, hi guys, is there any car manufacturer who offers car seats with massage functions as an option?
You can get these seats for car seats, these extra seats that go on top of the car seats. You can buy these from these various massage people.
Oh, really?
You can actually buy. I've got one of these at home as well, actually, that I haven't used.
All right.
Some recommendation that was.
Well, mine's probably not that good, but I do believe that they do some quite good ones.
Is it like those old balls things that taxi drivers used to have?
No. This is an electric thing. So this thing actually goes into your power supply in the car, and it has its own set of controls.
Yeah.
And it basically sits on top of your car seat, basically.
Nice.
And so it's like a massage seat.
It just needs you.
Like the Bentley, they put these in, and these high-end cars.
Yeah, but don't forget that's in the seat itself.
So
you're talking a very expensive thing. Yeah.
Why are they not putting something like that in the Charger or in the 300C
I think the lowest end
SRT?
Japanese car.
Well, because like I said, you're talking a very expensive piece of kit because it's in the seat itself. Yeah. There's a whole lot of mechanism in the seat. Right. There's a whole lot of extra wiring that's in the seat. The seat itself is expensive.
Yeah, okay.
So, and also don't forget, most cars are trying to save room. You're talking high-end luxury cars which are normally come in long
room
wheelbase.
And weight. And weight.
They don't worry about weight, and also they have extra room. So if you make your driver's seat thicker because you've got mechanism in there, you're robbing the rear footwell of space. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not very desirable in smaller cars. But try that option of buying these seats that go on top of the seat.
Basically, pop into Satswa and ask for a massage option.
Any of these big electric stores have them, I believe.
Yeah, that should be your answer. Don't get a new car.
No.
It's expensive.
Or a seat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was there more to that?
No, I'm just reading some other message and then realizing that you stopped talking, so I've got to stop reading.
I'm so sorry. We should continue. How was your day, Imtishan? How was your day?
Okay, brilliant.
It was quite
really
good,
quickly,
wasn't it?
really quickly.
That Nissan food was great,
gentlemen.
Okay, right. Oh, we can. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'll read this after. Bola in Abu Dhabi has been on me now for 2 weeks saying, why?
Shall we get him off you?
Please.
Okay.
Why, and I'll try to say it, why can't you guys talk about the issue that's really at hand with cars today?
Okay.
Sunny versus Corolla. There's a lot of people out there who want to buy that car or those cars. We need to know which one is better. That's what Bulla would be saying.
Here's my problem. I cannot recollect at this moment in time whether I've even driven those cars. Have I driven the new Corolla?
You drove the Sunny. I haven't driven the new Sunny. I got my license in a Sunny.
I've driven the Sunny. I've driven the Sunny. I cannot recall if I've
driven the new Corolla. So between the two of us, we have enough experience.
Yeah. I haven't. I think they're pretty much of a muchness, those cars.
I like the Corolla more. I like the 2-liter Corolla.
Yeah, but you're
nice.
a Toyota guy.
Yeah, I'm completely biased because I've owned a lot of
tonight
Toyota.
I've been dying by Nissan, so I'll go with the Sunny.
I'll go with the Corolla. So that didn't solve your problem.
So we solved it.
Corolla's more powerful, so it wins.
It was a bit. We had nicer dates from Nissan, so
okay, fine. Nissan wins.
Sunny versus Corolla.
There was a question about four-wheel drive.
They've changed the transmission in the Corolla recently, haven't they?
Yeah, it's CVT now.
Yeah. Okay. Then sorry, the Nissan wins.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nissan wins.
There you go.
I'm anti-CVT.
Yeah.
There you go.
Did you want to address the four-wheel drive question?
Hang on, the Sunny's probably got CVT in it as well, isn't it?
Is there a four-wheel drive?
Yeah. There was a person asking basically there's 2H and 4H on my gearbox. Which is better to drive or which consumes less fuel? 2H. Yeah. 2H. Don't put four-wheel drive. Very simple.
You shouldn't too high or too low, you mean?
And if you don't understand what it does...
Too high? 4 low. What is he saying?
2 high is two-wheel drive. 4 high is just four-wheel drive. And 4 low is low. Don't use low on the road. But if you don't know any of this means alphabet soup, go to your dealer and have them walk you through it.
Then we've got one last one that's coming from Asad, and I'm sure he gave us this question not so long ago. He leased a Mercedes E500 under the STAR program from the dealership. The lease ends in 2016 December.
I think so.
I pay $3,500 a month. I have only driven it 15,000 kilometers so far. Shall I turn it in December or sell it outside and settle the balance sum and buy something else? I mean, do you love if you love your E500, keep driving it.
If you don't love it, you can trade it back into the dealer. You've bought it in a scheme anyway, so you might be able to trade it out for another Mercedes.
Or a newer model
Mercedes, and especially the new E-Class now out in the dealers, and it is a significantly better car. Or if you want to try and get a little bit more money but a more hassle, then you can try and sell it outside the dealer network. Yeah. It's painless. It's a painless process.
I vote lease.
To take it back to the dealer and get another thing on a lease.
The whole point of lease is that you don't have to have all of this faffle.
And then you get the new one. Just get the new E500 because it's awesome.
Yeah.
Very simple. Guys, we ran out of time on the show once again.
My goodness. We have dates, though, still.
We'll do it all again next week. Same place, same time. MotoringMiddleEast.com if you want to find these guys. And we know one person's going to be getting in touch because he wants to get that correct address where he can get in touch with them.
Yes, please do.